UBI. Do you know what that is?
No.
You're
Oh,
fired.
universal basic income.
Okay,
Okay.
you're hired. Yes, UBI. Here's and a lot of people are like, oh, it can't work. 100%. I 100% know it can work. Here's why. What people don't want to like realize, like UBI in today's age, I feel is necessary. Why? Because if you get $1,000 a month, I get $1,000 a month. It alleviates bills. It gives me a chance to go buy that new washer dryer that I need.
Mhm.
It gives me a chance that, you know what, I can go out this week and to a restaurant, take my wife out for a date, and that person has a job. I could tip that person. We have a lovely evening. And that restaurant stays in business, right? And people are like, no, you can't do that. Really? Because we're printing money left and right. And we did that for Ukraine.
Well, corporates have UBI.
And,
Corporations have
and
UBI.
corporations have UBI. Like, but they don't want to give it on a person. And here's a guy that I do respect. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're crazy. Andrew Yang. You ever heard of Andrew Yang?
Of course.
I love Andrew Yang. And if you're listening, Andrew, I love you because I think you're a smart dude. Your party sucks because they kept you down. He would have been a visionary for the Democratic Party. 100% believe it. And I think if he was white instead of Asian, and I hate to say that, I think his ideas would have had more merit. I think his ideas would have gone farther. He's a smart dude. He's trying to do the Ford Party, which isn't going to work because the Republicans and Democrats don't want a third party.
No.
You're taking votes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it screws up. And they're both in bed with each other. Let's not act like they're not, okay? The left wing, right wing are on the same bird, plain and simple. But Andrew Yang came out with UBI, and I started like, that's not going to work. I started listening to him more and more, listen to his philosophy. But the thing with UBI is it abolishes welfare. Think about that.
It abolish welfare.
It abolishes welfare because
Well, you have to get rid of it.
you have to get rid of it. Do you know there's generations of people that have been living on welfare and that's all they know?
Yeah.
That's all they know. And they have better stuff than me and you. They have the new iPhone. I have this Android that I've had for 5 years that has cracks in it.
So what's going to compel them to work and produce and get used to society?
UBI.
But
You don't get anything extra.
You just told me that people live on welfare and they just get nicer things than us. So what's the incentive to work and gain more?
You don't get nice things then. You get the bare minimum to live, and that's it.
Okay, where do you get this $1,000 a month though?
It would be given to every. Now, here's the tricky part. Do you do it for every U.S. citizen or every person in America?
Oh, sure, but I still don't know how you keep that $1,000 a month circulating because
They spend it.
of course, but how is $1,000 not the new zero?
I see where you're getting at, and I don't like it,
everything's
but
just gonna
that's okay.
cost
No, no.
$1,000 more.
More. It could. Well, it's already gone up. But we can do that. The Fed could say they don't raise prices.
But we had an experiment with UBI where we just gave everyone a check
Yes.
during COVID, and we had a
Look how.
brief moment of lower credit card debt,
Yep.
low debt overall. People's savings are up. But what was the cost for that? But what did we pay in exchange? Inflation. Because we increased the monetary supply.
Yeah, we increased the monetary supply, but it's not even monetary supply because everything's going to digital. That CBDC or whatever they call it, everything's digital. You know, they're doing that whole social credit in China. You can do that, not social credit here, but you can do social credit's a whole different aspect. We'll talk about that later. You can do people's accounts. The government they have control of your money. So they'll create an account for you. It's digital into their digital bank or whatever bank you use. And they'll put that $1,000 in your account that month. And then go spend it on your rent, go spend it on your food, go spend it on whatever it is, right? So if you have husband and wife, that's $2,000, right? That you have. And depending on where you live, you can stretch that out. And if you can't, you go get a part-time job. But you're gonna work. You gotta do something. And there has to be programs of the government for those like welfare cities. Cool, pick up trash, we'll pay you X amount, or we'll credit you X amount. I think everything's going to a credit here in the future. It's not gonna be just, our paychecks are already ones and zeros with direct deposit. I think everything's going to go to a credit system that the dollar, it's still going to be based on the dollar because we always go to war for the dollar, but it's all going to be given electronically. And I think if you want to make more money, there's going to be ways for you to make more money. Like, work at a daycare center, work at have you ever heard of 15-minute cities?
No. What is a 15-minute city?
I don't know either. I've heard about it, but I don't know. It's something about like they're trying to create. I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory thing that they haven't put too much mind to it.
Well, here's my problem with UBI is that not to quote Starship Troopers, but anything that's given free has no value. So if you give people $1,000 a month when there's no productivity behind it, then why should people have confidence in that $1,000 a month?
The productivity is human kindness, or
No.
that productivity is that you need to spend that money. What if I give you $1,000, but I said you have to spend it in 2 months?
Oh, you have to spend it.
You know they do that in China, right?
So I did not know that in China. Like they give.
I just
China
made that
gives you
up.
Money?
I just
Okay,
made that up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I heard a rumor that they do something like that, but they're working on something like that.
You would need a separate account that says here's $1,000, but you're required to spend it. You can't save it. So that forces people to.
That would be your UBI.
That'd be your UBI.
I think that would work.
Spend it.
Your UBI should be a separate account,
Mhm.
a credit system, and then you have your regular bank accounts for your jobs, right?
Yeah, well, that gets screwed. Then how do you track people spending that $1,000 without
The
that?
government already tracks everything you do. Hey, this creates jobs for the government. Another job that costs them probably on the books 10 million, they'll charge 100 million to the feds or whatever. Just like airplane toilets are like $4,700 a toilet bowl. Like that's not real, but they charge it on their things, manifest. But I'm saying that would create more jobs for people in the government. Like, okay, we're gonna track this, and it's easy to track. It really is with blockchain. Not cryptos, but the blockchain. The blockchain having that ledger of who the money goes to and having records, it's no different than bank accounts already.
Or just require with blockchain, just give people a crypto that they require to spend.
We don't even have to give them
US
crypto.
dollar.
It's the same aspect though, crypto or the credits, right? So this could be like the UBI credits or UBI crypto, whatever you want to call it. It spends, you don't get taxed on it, nothing. The government gives you $1,000 tax free. You have 2 months to spend it. You can spend it on rent. You can spend it on food. You can spend it on whatever you want, right? In the future, they're going to be able to control what you buy anyways. So if you get UBI, you won't be able to buy, what's that welfare thing? EBT. Like on EBT cards, you can't buy alcohol, supposedly. I think. I don't know. I know that with food stamps, you couldn't back in the day. But with an EBT, you can't buy fast food. But now, like Jack in the Box, I saw a sign saying EBT now accepted. So I guess that's like
I guess because it's food, right?
yeah, but it's expensive food. If you're on EBT or those welfare, it's supposed to be because you have kids and you should be buying stuff at stores. But then again, with inflation, everything's jacked up anyways. But I think UBI for me, going back, circling to the beginning, UBI would be a way to get people off of welfare and pushing them off of welfare. Because if you're on welfare and you're creating other generations of people on welfare, there's no incentive to ever get off of welfare. But if you give them a UBI and you say you have to spend this money in 2 months, this money is for you to go out to a restaurant. It's to go buy a washer, a dryer, go buy a car even. Make that as your monthly payment. But it's something that you're putting money back into society.
But it doesn't mean that the price of the wash and dry is going to stay the same. It's probably going to increase.
It could increase. Well, there should be rules that it can increase. And we can make that.
Who's to make that decision? Most of us are not going to agree with that one person who makes.
Yeah, I
the
know,
decision.
because capitalists. That's where human beings we suck. Because we're like, oh yeah, everyone's getting $1,000. Like this $500 TV is now $1,000. Like, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah, they know you have the money and
Yeah.
you have to spend it. Why not spend it for my goods instead of my
I
competitors?
just think we need to get people off of welfare.
How do you do that though? That's
I just told you, UBI.
UBI.
But then you're coming back with this capitalistic bullcrap. But it's cool. No, I do understand. That's why I don't have the answers. I just think that this should be applied and let's talk about it. How can we make this real? How can we push this into being a real thing? Because it's not going to. There's always going to be pushback. People on welfare are not going to want to get off of welfare. And I get it. But then again, like, we do have to do something. We can't keep letting the rich getting super rich. We just can't, because the rest of humanity, at some point, there's going to be a breaking point
Oh yeah.
where the poor are going to rise up and overtake the rich. It's going to happen. And I don't want to put a doom and gloom situation, but we live in America where you can buy a gun. You don't think there's like a bunch of poor people are like, F these rich people? You know, like that could be a real scenario. It's scary. I think those scenarios exist because people get too rich. People have too much. And I really do believe people can get too much.
Well, people absolutely do have too much, but no one's stopping them from getting them too much. Who are we to say that we need to stop them?
But that's the fault of our governments not helping you get hired to help the little people, but when you get into the House or the Senate or in politics, you don't care about the little people.
No.
You care about what stock tips do you have? How do I get rich? How do I get that Pelosi money? Thanks for watching our clip. If you want to see more clips like this and you like our views, like the show, click here for some more clips. If you want to hear the whole podcast, watch the whole podcast, click here for the whole podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll get back to you. Thank you, and have a great day.